It's the one-pan idea for dinner that's so good, it's the official state cuisine of Louisiana. Gumbo is on the menu today. How to make it and keep it authentic without taking all day. I'm Jeff Philbin. This is Dinner DeeAs. Joining me in the Dinner DeeAs kitchen to guide us through gumbo is Chef Nate, who cooks up killer Cajun cuisine at the Fat Raccoon Eatery. His food truck operating out of Palmetto. My man, welcome to Dinner DeeAs.
Thanks for having me.
I'm excited to have you here because Chef Nate is not only just a proud veteran, and thank you for your service, my friend. Thank you so very much. But proud of his menu of authentic etouffee, po' boys, and today's specialty, we're making gumbo. And he wrote us wanting to share a recipe for a dish combining the cultures of West Africa, France, Germany, Spain, and the Native Americans. And this normally takes like hours to make, but
Correct.
This is not gonna happen within hours because your version, quick fix.
Absolutely. Smaller portions make it cook faster.
I absolutely love that because this is like a true immigrant dish too. I mean, you've got all these, heritages coming together in one.
Correct.
Let's get right into this. I'm so excited.
Awesome.
What do we need to do first?
So we're going to start by slicing and dicing some andouille. Andouille sausage is a very Cajun-style sausage.
What makes it a Cajun sausage? Like, what does andouille taste like against what you might find at a traditional grocery store with your Italian sausages?
Absolutely. So it's still going to be pork-based sausage, but it's much more densely packed. So as you see, like with an Italian sausage, it would crumble when you did that. This kind of holds form. It's also got more fat, and it's heavily seasoned with paprika and other Cajun seasonings.
So it's going to have a nice little bit of a smokiness behind it, a little bit more of a heat, but not really just spice, just a warmth almost.
Correct.
Easy to find them?
Easy to find. Publix has it. All your local groceries usually have some version of andouille.
Very cool. All right, so all we just need to do is just do some half moons over here?
Correct.
All right, what do we need to do next then?
So we're going to start now by getting a little bit of whatever your preferred fat of choice is. Today we're using lard because that's very traditional.
That's the traditional piece of this.
Absolutely. So we're going to get a little lard in our pan and we're going to start searing off our andouille.
All right.
So a good hot pot. And so the andouille, you want it to almost have crispy edges. Like, you ever had like a good fried bologna sandwich?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay, so same kind of deal. But we're just going to get that little caramelization going on with the andouille. It's also going to help release some of that fat from the sausage, and then we're going to cook everything up in it. So we're kind of building flavors.
So it's all those layers upon layers that's going to sit over rice.
Yes.
I'd love to help you over here. So what do we got to do over here?
So over there, rice is already kind of in the Instapot there.
Okay.
Instapot's a good way to start cooking or to kind of make your rice foolproof.
Okay.
Another trick is to use parboiled rice. It's very common in the culinary industry and also in Cajun cooking. It kind of makes it a little bit more foolproof.
What type of rice is this?
So it's just parboiled.
Okay.
Yep, so it's not, just look for parboiled rice at the grocery stores or whatever that case may be, wherever you're doing your local shopping at. So if you look already, that andouille's got a little char starting to happen. You can
See
kind of
that little bit of color, and that's good. You want that.
Absolutely. That little color is what's building flavors.
Okay.
And it's also starting to release more fat and more flavor for when we get into our next step here.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. And then go ahead and hit the manual button there. It should say 8 should pop up when you hit that.
Okay.
Nope, no rice
Right
button.
there.
So we'll just hit manual.
And the 8. Boom.
Yep. And so I never usually use the rice button on there because
Yeah.
I don't really care for the type that it comes out as. So what I do is 8 minutes manually, 8 minutes, and then you let it steam on itself for 15.
Okay. All right. So you got a little science behind this then,
Absolutely.
too.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool.
Yep.
What do we have to do that's more science-based now? What do we got to do next?
So next step, we're gonna get this roux going.
Now,
Okay?
this is like the basis of all those flavors. Now, this is a
Correct.
science. There's a technicality behind this to do it just right.
Absolutely, and the key with any roux is 50-50 fat and flour.
50-50 fat, flour.
Correct.
What type of fat we got then?
So today we're using lard and
Okay.
we're using duck fat. Duck fat makes it a little bit more rich. It's also very, very Cajun that way.
Okay.
And again, duck fat you can usually find at your local grocer. I'm pretty for sure Walmart even carries duck fat. But it's just a little bit more, I don't know, voluptuous that way.
Okay.
You know, it's got a little bit
Kind of
more
coats that
depth.
palate a little behind it.
Right.
Okay.
So we're gonna get this fat kind of melted down there, and then we'll add in our flour. And then we'll start doing the whole stirring kind of constantly. Low and slow is the key here. That way the flour doesn't burn. We just want it dark, and we want it like deep dark.
To see everything that we're doing today, make sure you check out our website, dinnerdeas.com, or even faster, just take your phone out and use the QR code that's in the corner of your screen.
All right, so now this, you can see there's a little bit more oil and grease in there than we started with, right?
That fat is just rendered out.
Correct. So now we're gonna get most of this andouille out, and then we're gonna use that fat to get our chicken thighs sauteed.
No waste here over here.
No waste. But you'll see too that when I get it back over towards you, the color of that oil will be darker. It's gonna have more seasonings going on in there, more flavor. And that's what's gonna help build the flavor of our chicken thighs when that time comes. See how dark
Oh yeah,
that
you can
got?
see it. You really can see that.
Absolutely. All right, so now that this is about ready to add our flour, we just wanna make sure that that's all liquidy. Now, one thing with roux, right? A lot of people add flour to their fat and then use it immediately as a thickener for like a cream sauce or something along those lines. Where we're taking it so deep dark, it's not gonna be as strong of a thickener. It's gonna stay more of a thin-based roux, but it's gonna add this nutty richness to everything that we're looking for when we
And to
eat
get
gumbo.
it to that level of just depth in that, as you were just saying, that nice. How long? What are you looking for with that color coming in at mahogany? But how long does that normally take?
So it depends on how big of a batch you're doing.
Okay.
Okay, so like a small batch like this, it shouldn't take more than, maybe 20 minutes at most. But when I do bigger batches for like the food truck, where I'm doing pounds of roux at a time, it can take anywhere up to 6 hours.
Wow.
But I'm doing it in a Dutch oven and
And you're doing it on scale, but you're doing
Correct.
it what is your way, which is the right way.
Which is
of
low and
just
slow.
low and slow.
correct.
How about this? I'll monitor this and keep stirring this. What do we
Absolutely.
need to do with the chicken thighs over here?
So we're gonna get the rest of that little bit of flour in. Yep. And then we're looking for a wet sand consistency with that too.
Okay.
And so chicken thighs, we're gonna get this seasoned up with just a little Cajun seasoning over here.
And what? Any kind of particular Cajun season that you like the most?
So you can go with whatever your favorite is that you may already be using. This one here I actually make for the food truck specifically.
Okay.
So this is kind of my own little secret house blend.
Now, you willing to kind of take us in on a little secret of what we might be smelling and tasting?
Absolutely. I'll give you the base ingredients there for sure. So you got heavy paprika, followed by cayenne, black pepper, white pepper, a few dried herbs like thyme and oregano, and then you got your onion powder, garlic powder, and then finish with a little salt.
Very nice.
Jump around you. And so now we'll go in with these chicken thighs. Right, season side down. And we don't want this to burn, so we're going to keep this kind of on a lower temp.
So a lower temp on this one here.
But you want to hear it cooking. You don't want it just to be sitting there steaming on itself.
Now, you kept the skin on these?
No, these are boneless, skinless.
Okay.
The skin for gumbo, you can keep it on there, but it tends to hold more fat and make your gumbo too oily in the end.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's why you want to go with just mainly your protein there. And we'll get those three going first.
So, and if you don't crowd the pan, that's what you're saying right there. You
Correct.
could do this in batches.
Yes, absolutely. You crowd the pan, you end up with it just steaming on itself. All that moisture is going to just gel up in there, and you're not going to get the good browning sensation that you're looking for.
I love it. I love it. Chef, how am I coming along over here with your roux?
You're looking good. See how it looks like wet sand?
Yeah.
And then if you stop stirring for a minute, you see how it runs out?
Yep.
That's exactly what you're looking for,
All right.
right?
Very good. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, how the holy trinity of Cajun cooking makes the base for this dish. Ahead, Dinner DeeAs. Well, welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. It might not be Fat Tuesday, but we're having our own celebration of sausage and chicken as we cook up a simple take on gumbo thanks to my guest, Chef Nate from the Fat Raccoon Eatery, where he specializes in Cajun comfort food. Before the break, we sliced, diced, and cooked up andouille sausage and let it saute for just a few minutes in a little bit of lard. Got those crispy edges right there too.
Absolutely.
Then used a sneaky shortcut of an Instant Pot to get our side of rice going, but not using the rice button, and I learned that in the process. Well, we started on the all-important roux. which is a blend of fat and flour used as a thickener. Now, Chef Nate combined lard, duck fat, and all-purpose flour. Then we switched the andouille sausage for seasoned chicken thighs here, and they were skinless, they were boneless, and these smells are absolutely fantastic in here. And we've been cooking these in batches right now, taking them off and getting a few in, never overcrowding the pan.
Correct.
And making sure that they don't burn, which is also something that's not happening over here with our roux. Like, this is now low and slow. I mean, it's taken on just much of a deeper color over here. It's like kind of like getting to that dark khaki almost.
Absolutely. We're going to take it from that khaki color almost to peanut butter color, and then I call it a beer bottle brown. And then our chicken thighs here, those are starting to be perfect. We're going to get these out, and then we're going to use the onions first in there. And what that's going to do is the acid from the onions, make sure all our pieces of chicken are out. The acid from the onions is actually going to help deglaze that pan.
Oh.
So we'll go in with our diced onion now.
Oh, that smell right there. And now we're going in with the Holy Trinity. This is the Holy Trinity of Cajun cooking.
Correct. So Holy Trinity is just like the French has mirepoix. Cajun, they have Holy Trinity. They've substituted the carrots for some bell peppers with the celery, and then the onions are still the same. So we're gonna get that going in there, and you'll see immediately the color.
Oh, all that fat just coming through on that, all of that. Oh.
We're gonna get that going.
Now,
and once we
if
flip
someone
that
at home
for a
was like
second-
seeing that and going like, oh wow, I've got like, it's starting to burn on my side. That's good.
That's good. So that burn isn't necessarily burn. Those little brown bits on the bottom, we call that fond. And that fond is all the flavor from all the chicken juices and everything building on the bottom there. The veggies are gonna help release that up, and then that's gonna become part of our end result in our flavors.
To have fun with your own fond to make a dish like this, make sure you check out our website, dinnerdeas.com. We kindly have placed a QR code in the corner screen to make it that much quicker for you to get straight to us. Now, what are we looking for with this now?
So we're gonna wait until those onions sweat down a little bit and come a little bit translucent.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go in with our next steps.
We're gonna take a quick break. Our Holy Trinity has to take its time to get flavorful. So, break time, my friend.
Absolutely.
When we come back, Chef Nate shares the seasoning he uses to get great gumbo ahead. Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. We're going all in on gumbo today with Chef Nate from the Fat Raccoon Eatery, showing us how he does this classic Cajun dish. Before the break, we took the sauteed chicken thighs out of the pan, then added in the Holy Trinity, the traditional base to Cajun dishes of onion, bell peppers, and celery.
Absolutely. So, to talk about the Holy Trinity, well, we always joke the garlic is the Pope.
The Pope coming in clutch right there.
Absolutely. So get that garlic kind of sauteed in there. Gonna let that cook for just a minute or two. We don't want to burn the garlic, but we want it to start to get soft, right? We want to try to get the aromatics out of the garlic. Yep. So now that that's got the aromatics starting to release, you'll start smelling the garlic more in there.
Oh yeah.
Right, we're gonna go in with our herbs and spices, right? So we got a little parsley, some green onions.
Now most would think that like fresh herbs come way at the end.
So we're gonna add more later.
Oh.
Absolutely. So you want some stewed in there so it releases some of those flavors into your base.
Okay.
And then we'll garnish with some later too. So while that's kind of getting going, we'll give it a quick stir here.
I'll monitor this for you.
Yep. Kind of get everything in there so the garlic doesn't burn on the bottom. We're gonna tie what we call a sachet.
Yeah, what's a sachet?
So a sachet is similar to like a bouquet garni, or it's like your herbs that you don't want to lose track of, right? So if we just threw the thyme in there like this, all the stems are gonna be floating around later and you're gonna try to pick them all out.
Totally.
So this is a good way to keep them kind of concealed, but also let them release their oils and flavors. So we get this all wrapped up, and then we're gonna tie it shut
And that's
here.
just a little bit of cheesecloth right there.
That's it, cheesecloth and cooking twine.
That's it.
Yep. And so we'll get this tied up here. But this will kind of keep it all kind of concealed in there so we can pull it out later easier.
Perfect.
So get that stirred in. And then next we're gonna go in with our paprika, and again that Cajun seasoning that we used earlier. You can use a blackening or any sort of your favorite Cajun seasoning. Again, this is the one we have on the food truck there.
Okay.
So that goes in, give that a good stir. And then we'll go in with the paprika and do the same. So you always want to do this over a lower heat as well. So that way the seasonings don't burn. You just want them to start kind of absorbing some of the moisture and releasing
you
oils.
can really start smelling. Like the smells right now are really starting to intensify a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now we're going with the paprika.
Okay. And you're feeling even more of that resistance too.
Absolutely.
Which is like, it's giving me the workout right now. I'm gonna give you a workout too.
Yep.
And look at your roux over there, man. Like I
dark.
swear we did not swap this out for like chocolate and start melting this. This has just been this roux.
Yep, low and slow.
That's it.
And you can smell the difference too. It's all starting to change.
Oh.
You get these chicken thighs diced up while that gets going.
Now, if you want to be able to have some fun with a little Cajun cooking in your household, now's the time. Take out your phones. I give you permission. Take your phone out and scan the QR code that we have at the bottom of the screen. Or if you want to write it out, dinnerdeas.com, and you will be straight to heaven with a dish like this. Oh, just a little bit of Cuban up over there on that side. Now, I was getting a little bit of some resistance over here.
So now that you got it stirred in, and you can see the seasons are good, well blended, you can go in with your water.
Okay.
And then give that a little stir. It's going to help kind of release that bottom. Mm-hmm. Kind of deglaze the bottom one with that.
Oh, yeah. I'm just taking all that fun, because you said you want that. That is that base of flavor here.
Yep. You'll see the color's nice.
I can feel it, too.
Nice and dark. It'll go from you'll be able to feel the stuff on the bottom to it kind of all releasing. It's all smooth again. Yep. And now we got the water in, we can go back up on the higher temp there. Kind of bring this back up to a simmer.
Okay. With that next one. And then I also looks like a little bit of chicken base over here?
Chicken base, yeah. So chicken base are like better than bouillon. It's kind of more of like a pasty bouillon cube. It's got more flavor, usually less sodium in it.
Okay.
But it's kind of a cheater way of getting your chicken stock done without spending all day making a chicken stock beforehand.
So this is just a lot of concentrated flavors.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
Ready to add?
Absolutely. So we'll go in with the Worcestershire. Another, again, depth of flavor there. Just a little bit of Louisiana hot sauce.
It wouldn't be Cajun without a little bit of that Louisiana hot sauce.
You gotta have the hot sauce.
You gotta have the hot sauce. You got
have
any
some
in
spice.
particular that you like?
So the one I use is actually Louisiana Company, Louisiana hot sauce.
Okay.
And
Now that one's like a vinegar base.
correct.
It's got a high vinegar. Okay.
Yep, it's vinegar based, cayenne. It's all around good hot sauce.
I love it.
And then our key ingredient there is this deep, rich roux, right? So we'll go in with this next. And this is gonna be very hot, so obviously go careful.
And again, this was not chocolate fondue.
This is not chocolate.
This is not chocolate fondue over here. But that is just absolutely beautiful in color. Absolutely stunning. Our quick Cajun cooking is nearly ready. When we get back, after one last break, we finish up Chef Nate's gumbo ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs. Bring you a little Louisiana today, as gumbo is our idea for dinner, courtesy of Cajun cook Chef Nate from the Fat Raccoon Eatery. Before the break, we added our garlic to the holy trinity of onion, bell peppers, and celery, and that was the Pope, as you said.
Yes, sir.
And then Chef Nate even had even more of a tip for us. He wrapped thyme and bay leaf in a cheesecloth sachet to help make them easier to remove later. Add them along with green onions, parsley, Cajun seasoning, and paprika, along with water and chicken base. Brought it all to a simmer while we diced the chicken thighs we sauteed earlier. Then we added some more liquids in there. We added some hot sauce, and your hot choice of choice, my friend?
Louisiana hot sauce, of course.
Louisiana hot sauce, and a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. Plus our roux of flour, lard, and duck fat, and let it all simmer during the break. And these smells in here are just incredible. And I mean, just look at that right there. You just added that chicken right in, and all of the andouille that had those nice little char around the edges. Oh, I'm ready to start playing. You ready to start going?
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
Start with our rice that we already had going over there.
And then with your method, this was cooked and then just sat in its steam.
Yep, it finishes in its own steam. That way it doesn't really overcook that way. Oh. And then we'll go in with a nice healthy ladle of our gumbo.
Now, what's the thickness liking that you really want for?
So traditional Cajun gumbo isn't going to be thick at all. It's
gonna
going to be thin, and that's the reason we cooked that roux for so long, so that thickening is now gone. And we just end up with this beautiful flavor.
Oh, look at the
And we're going to finish it. A little parsley and some green onion. And now we're ready to taste.
Lead me along the way. I want to know where you're going. If you get like it all,
A
or
little
you
bit of everything,
you going
absolutely.
for everything.
Yep. And it's going to be super hot where she's just boiling, so try not to burn your mouth.
Wow. That depth. There's heat, there's warmth. Folks, right there, you're getting everything going on. All those layers of flavor that are coming through, starting with that base, rendering out that fat, and then layer upon layer upon layer. And then your roux, depth. I mean, that right there took it to a next level.
Each bite makes you salivate for another.
Don't skimp out on making sure that your roux was like chocolate, because it was that worthwhile. Thanks to Chef Nate. We have his gumbo recipe ready and waiting for you at our website, dinnerdeas.com. Just scan the QR code down there to find it. We also have a link to his Facebook page for the Fat Raccoon Eatery, so you can see where he's headed next. I'm Jeff Philbin. Thanks for watching, and see you next time with more ideas for dinner, as we call them, Dinner Deas. That was really good.